Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Jarom Ipson, and I'm excited to be talking to you about CoolSculpting today. We're at Santan Natural Medicine in Gilbert, Arizona, and I have this nice presentation for you. Well, that's not everything, but it's mostly everything you need to know about CoolSculpting. It's going to be just a short, about 10, 12, maybe 15-minute video. Hopefully get some of your basic questions answered, some of the major questions that we see, and then also help you to be able to help you make your decision on CoolSculpting and where to get it done. All right. So the questions we're going to answer is, does CoolSculpting work? What treatments are like? How much does CoolSculpting cost? And how to find the right provider. All those things very important if you're considering getting CoolSculpting done. All right, so on to question number 1. Does CoolSculpting work? Yes, for sure, absolutely. We've been CoolSculpting providers now for over 2 years and have had hundreds of our own success stories, but nationwide and actually worldwide now, millions of treatments have been performed. Millions of people are having these amazing results. It is FDA approved, and it's the only non-surgical treatment for fat reduction that has the FDA approval. And in the area that's treated, we're noticing about 20-25% reduction in fat. So great results, amazing. That process is called cryolipolysis, which is the freezing of breaking down of the fat. And the most amazing thing about CoolSculpting is there's no surgery, no downtime, safe and effective, probably the major reasons why you are interested in CoolSculpting. Let's just briefly learn about how CoolSculpting works. So CoolSculpting is based on applicators. So applicators, as you can see, pull the tissue in, freeze those fat cells. Those fat cells get damaged. Your body's natural process with damaged cells is to eliminate them. And so then you end up with a thinner layer of fat. Results, about 3 weeks in, we start to notice the results. It is a body's natural process. It's not an instant result treatment. With full results can take up to 3 to 4 months. Sometimes if we know we want to retreat an area, we can do a second treatment within 6 to 8 weeks. I want to share a couple before and afters from our treatments. These are actually 2 of the most recent before and afters pictures that we have of people that have had amazing results with CoolSculpting. You'll see just a definite loss of fat in the areas treated, having amazing results. And then just to kind of share a little bit more, so you see at CoolSculpting.com, they have some before and afters. And then I also want to introduce you to this website called realself.com. So I'm going to jump over here. Okay. All right. So here's realself.com. Come here. This is where real people, just like you, evaluate cosmetic treatments. You'll see here, they help you to research treatments, find a doctor. You can learn about the different things. They have the most major cosmetic procedures and treatments here are available. You see, we can scroll down here, and CoolSculpting is right here. So you can click on it. And the good thing about this is it also gives you a rating of how many people think it's worth it. So like you click on CoolSculpting, comes up here, you can see 81% of people that have tried CoolSculpting think that it's worth it out of 1,163 ratings. So that's a really high number. And then we're going to see the before and afters, you have to sign in. So I'm going to jump over to this page that I'm signed in on. And you can see over here the people have been able to rate the treatment, whether it's worth it or not. And so you can see their results there. So you can scroll through and see some people aren't sure yet because they might have recently got the treatment done. They're kind of placed in order of how recently the treatment was done. And you can click on the before and after. So I just for an example, want to see someone. Okay, here someone said it was not worth it. So you can click on the person. I'm showing you so CoolSculpting for sure works. The people that say that it doesn't work are the people that usually don't get enough of the recommended treatments, and then also the people that gain weight. And so you see, this is an example. And, you know, as I mentioned, this is a lady who said it wasn't worth it, so you can read through. But she posts her pictures. It's kind of a little blog for the people that get the treatment done, and you can see they post their updates. One thing that I noticed as I was looking through this lady is multiple times she talked about maybe eating something, which might be an indication of possibly gaining some weight, which if you gain weight, then obviously that's going to work to cancel out your results. So, all right. So you can go and look through this realself.com to see, maybe find someone who is before and after. It might be a similar body type to yours and the results they had. Pretty good website. It's really good for people looking at the different aesthetic procedures. All right, so back to our presentation here. What are treatments like? So at Santen Natural Medicine, our staff is well experienced in treatments. We've had, like I mentioned, lots of people that have had the treatments done. Here's actually me getting the treatment done. I was actually the first volunteer. The treatment is actually, especially with the new applicators, is really not bad at all. There's a little bit of tugging. That's it. Very comfortable. We have people that take naps during the treatment. It's not complicated at all. You can see this is our CoolSculpting technician Bertha preparing the treatment for Donna, our nurse here, getting the area ready to treat. So there is some suction involved, like I said, and there's some cooling, but minimal discomfort, if any. So all right, bring up to the next question. This is probably the biggest question that everyone has, is how much does CoolSculpting cost? And let me tell you that the answer to that is it varies. Everyone is different. And so to determine how much CoolSculpting costs, you actually need to have an assessment. And the first part of that assessment is to determine if you're a candidate. Not everyone is a candidate for CoolSculpting. CoolSculpting is able to treat the subcutaneous fat, which is the fat just under the skin that's outside of the muscle. If your fat is below the muscle, below your abdominal muscles, then it is not treatable. And so that's an important part. Usually that's determined by having, pinchable fat that you can pull away from the body in distinct bulges. And for sure, you need to have healthy skin to be able to treat it. We don't want to do CoolSculpting over an area that you've recently had surgery. If you have had surgery and things have healed, then that's not a problem. The skin is able to handle it. Then the second part of your assessment is we figure out what your problem area is, what your goals are, what areas do you want us to wave our magic CoolSculpting wand and to make disappear. And then we can figure out what that full treatment package would look like. And then you can come up with kind of your timeline and we know your goals. And then we can also figure out budget-wise what your plan would be. I do want to just jump back over to that real self, because there was one thing I didn't highlight. You can see it lists the average price in here, which is pretty normal for what we see. Different packages ranging from $2,000 to $1,500 up to $5,000 or more. And as you scroll through these, some of these people will list how much they've paid. You see this lady paid $1,800, this lady paid $2,400. Some people will not list their price. Some people have really big packages and they're paying more. But you can kind of see, like I said, you can go find someone whose before pictures maybe look like yours. And then figure out, okay, this is how much that person paid to get their results, and that can be a pretty good indicator. There are, different promotions or different things that might be a factor in coming up with your actual cost, but these prices are pretty right on similar-wise to what we're seeing for our packages. Like I said, but it is customized price depending on what custom areas you want treated and what's best going to fit you. And so just be aware of that. And we want to make sure that we're getting the area you want to be able to get the results you want. We and our staff, we're actually really honest. If we don't feel like we're going to get the results that you desire, we're going to tell you that, and we're going to recommend you to try something else or try a different treatment. Okay. And we do have a financing option available. This United Medical Credit is very similar to the Care Credit, specializing in financing for medical needs. So there's the information on our website about that, or in our office if you have questions. All right, then comes down to the last question that is very important, is finding the right provider, because not all CoolSculpting providers are created equal. So there's a few things you want to look for. You want to make sure you have a CoolSculpting certified practice, which means that the staff is trained. And then there's also the difference between a medical practice and a spa or boutique, because CoolSculpting is a medical procedure, does need a medical director to supervise, but there are many boutiques or spas that do not have any medical staff on site, and factor not that there's any major risk of complications. You just want to make sure that you're doing things safely. So I do want to jump off my slide deck again, and we'll go to CoolSculpting.com. So CoolSculpting.com is the CoolSculpting website. Obviously, you can go to find a provider. You can search here by your location. So let's put in our zip code here, so just so you can see what to look for. All right, so it gives you the map. It shows you the people or the practices that are doing CoolSculpting in the area. And then you can scroll down to find a little bit more information about them. So, all right, so you see right here we are, Santan Natural Medicine. We're listed first there. Couple of things here, like I mentioned, you want to make sure that we have a CoolSculpting certified practice. So up here is our guide, just shows you here the CoolSculpting certified practice means you have this little snowflake here, which we do, and there's in the area here, there's another person who does, others that don't. And then you may ask, what's this little blue thing in there? It's actually a crystal, so it stands for crystal practice. And so the more treatments that a practice does, the more little crystal things they get. And so you can see that we not only are the certified practice in the area, but we're also one of the higher performing practices. That's something that we pride ourselves in, and we pride ourselves in doing a good job with our CoolSculpting patients and having really good results. There are places, if you go to the larger cities, and you can get practices that have these multiple other higher levels, but we're pretty. We like where we're at here in Gilbert, and we don't have any desire to do anything super crazy. All right, so that's kind of the basic answer there. That gives you a little bit of information when you're looking for a practice to know which one to call might be the best fit. The one other important factor is you need to make sure that the practice you go to has all the correct applicators and the most to-date current technology. As I mentioned, CoolSculpting is based on applicators. So that means these little things up here at top, all these, those are what get hooked onto your body and these different body parts. And you need to make sure that we're able to treat the areas you want to. There are practices that don't have all these. And so you might go in and you say, oh, I want to get my chin treated, and the practice might not have this device needed, or whatever different combination. And the other thing is this Cool Advantage applicator. The Cool Advantage is the most up-to-date and current applicators. They're very new, and so not all practices have them. What it does is it actually increases the area treated by a small percentage, but then also the biggest factor is the time, because they take about half the time compared to the previous applicators. So they take 35 minutes per treatment application rather than an hour. So that can be a big factor, especially because CoolSculpting can be a fairly time-consuming procedure if you have multiple areas, and so you want to make sure that the practice you have is going to have this faster applicator. It's going to make a big difference. And we at Santan Natural Medicine, we do have all these applicators. So we definitely can take advantage of that, of the Cool Advantage, and help you to have those results faster. You can see down here, we've kind of highlighted the most common areas treated. Basically, if we can get the applicator on an area, usually we can treat it within reason. We're not going to do anything unsafe. But abdomen is probably our most common area that we do, and then back and flanks is second, and then inner and outer thighs is also a big factor here. The Cool Smooth is kind of the outer thigh specialist. So we have some great results with that. But you can see the multiple areas that we do treat. And then just one more thing I wanted to bring up at Santan Natural Medicine, we have what's called the STNM difference. Like I said, we kind of pride ourselves in being one of the best CoolSculpting providers, not even just in Gilbert, but in the state of Arizona. And so we do have special offerings that others don't. We actually have, like I highlighted for this first point here, is a results guarantee, that we guarantee that you'll have visible results after your CoolSculpting treatment. The little asterisk up there is, of course, terms and condition. There's 2 terms for that. You have to actually get all the treatments that we would recommend, and 2, you have to not have gained weight within 5 pounds, because like I mentioned earlier, if you gain weight, you can cancel out the fat loss, or at least the appearance of the fat loss. Those fat cells will be gone. You won't be able to notice them as much because you have more weight. So those are 2 stipulations on that. So if you don't have results with that guarantee, then we'll make sure that you get more treatments to be able to have those results. The other things you can see listed there, we do have medical staff. Like I said, we're a CoolSculpting certified office. Our doctors are on site and able to care and then and provide for you. And then we have that commitment that we have to make sure you look and feel your best. I just want to leave you with one more thing, a special gift. If you are interested, if you come into the office and get a CoolSculpting assessment, we'll get this $500 off voucher off of your treatment package. You do have to have at least 4 treatments in your package to get the $500 off, and then take advantage of that, and you can get extra discount on your treatments. So I hope this answered your questions, and I hope soon to see you in a CoolSculpting assessment. In most cases, you'll be able to talk to me. Sometimes if I'm busy with other patients or doing other stuff, I wouldn't be able to see you. But we try to schedule our assessments so that I'm able to talk to the person before, get all your questions answered about the procedure, make sure you're comfortable with all that, and then we figure out what the best package for you would be. And then, like I said, if you mention this video, you can take advantage of this $500 off of your package. There are times where we might have a really big sale or an open house that you might not be able to apply this, but that would be because there's a better offer due to that open house. So anyway, we hope to hear from you soon at Santen Natural Medicine. You see our number there. If you want to call and schedule an assessment, 480-636-1068, or you can also schedule online on our website, santennaturalmedicine.com. And we hope to see you soon. Thanks.